Hey everyone, this is me, the Undead Viking, and this is Area 51. Area 51 is a game in which each person is going to take on the role of a government spook, a X-Files smoking man, if you will. You are the power beyond the power beyond the power, and you know that aliens exist, and you found these crashed flying saucers and all the artifacts that are within them, and you are tasked with the ability of taking all of this information and swirling it away and hiding it in Area 51 in secret bunkers underground, so no one can ever find out about the stuff that we know, because you don't want mass hysteria and whatever else would happen if people knew that we had this stuff. But anyway, regardless, each person takes on that role and has to try to impress the government, impress their superiors by being the best at hiding these secrets away. Now you're going to be doing this by using cards that not only represent the artifacts that you have to store, but also the cards give you the powers to take the actions that you want. Now that's something I really, really enjoy because of the fact that you are using your scoring as your action mechanisms, which is something that I've always enjoyed. I like that tough decision, that weight that is given to each of your decisions that you have to make as you play the game. So let me show you how the game is played. It is really cool looking. You get to build these bunkers and towers and what have you, and you have these little trains and trucks and stuff. So it's kind of a fun game, just in a tactile way. The game is very fun to play because you have all these different parts that you get to build up and move. But I'll show you that, and then we'll come back here and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, cool. Alright, let's learn how to play Area 51. Now, before I tell you how the game is played, just keep in mind this is a prototype I was sent, so what you see in front of you may or may not be indicative to the final published game. Alright, so depending upon the number of players, you're going to set up this track, and when I say depending upon the number of players, these particular boards are two-sided. They're either going to have these the 5 bunkers available in them, or all 8 bunkers. And they'll also have a differing amount of these security bases that you're able to build. Each one of these boards, and you probably can't see it, but there's like a little tiny little 1-player there. There's on the other side, and you probably can't see it over here, there's like a 2-player right there. Each of them has a 1 or a 2, so for a 4-player game, you have 1 that is 2-player, then you have 2 that are 1-player, and there's your 4 players. Pretty simple. So if you're going to play 6 players, you'd have the 2-player on each board. 3 players, the one, you get it. Anyway, so to begin the game, each person is going to get 5 of these cards. They're going to have these different alien artifacts on them. The alien artifacts are color-coded. As you can see, that you have 6 that are available that you turn over at the beginning of the game. There are the gray, blue, orange, and green. And you can probably tell they're in this middle here. We have gray, orange, green, and blue towers as well. Now, if you probably think, that's where those alien artifacts are going to be stored, you'd be absolutely correct. And so the job, as I said, we're all like these Men in Black type people. We're trying to build these bunkers in Area 51, and we're trying to make sure that we get these alien artifacts in the bunkers that we create so we can impress our bosses. Alright, so each player is going to take a turn. You get 1 action on your turn, and there are several different options you have available to you. Now, you get a hand of 5 cards dealt to you at the beginning of the game, which I've already dealt to myself. It's just not really that big of a deal. Just I'm not going to really make a big show of this. Basically, the number is like the level of security that you need to have to be able to house that particular artifact. This little S down here, this means it's the starting card. There are a certain number of starting cards that are going to be in that deck, and they're going to tend to be the lower numbers. They go up to 4, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, so you have these and all these cards, and they have these. There's like a 3, a 2. I didn't get a 1, which is weird, but there are 1s out there. As you can see, there are 1s. So on your turn, what you can do is you can draw 3 cards. You can draw 3 cards that are face up, and you just replace them from the top of the deck. You can draw them from the top of the deck if you don't like any that are available to you, or any combination therein. You can, at the beginning, if you don't like any of the cards that are face up, you can discard one of the cards that you have, and then wipe the slate clean, and then just turn over 6 brand new cards if you don't like the ones that you have available to. And that's the very basic action. You can take that. That's just to replenish your hand, obviously. Alright, so the second thing that you can do. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to either build or upgrade bunkers that you have. Now, to build build a bunker or upgrade a bunker, what you're going to do is you're going to have to take one card that you have, and you're going to have to play it face up, and then you're going to play another card depending upon and then the face up card determines the color of the tower that you're going to use. So if I wanted to build like a green tower, I'd have to use this one. So you play that one face up on one of these bunkers that are there. You notice there's 3 in that situation, but here there's 2. And so you're going to go ahead and play one of those, and then determine like the level or the power or the top level that the particular bunker can hold. You're going to discard cards face down on top of them like that, and that would allow me to build a level 1 green bunker. So you take one of these and you take that on top, so now you have, it's a level 1, so you can kind of see that it is that, and then you take one of these little pegs and you can just put that right there on the top to show that that is your particular tower. Now later on, if you wanted to, you can discard, you can do the exact same thing again, but then discard more cards, and you can go ahead and increase the level by just, you'd have to like put a face card down, like you'd have to have, of course I use my other green one here, hold on, let me take that, so like so then if you want to do it again, you put that down, and then you put like the 2 cards down, showing the increase. Pretty straightforward. Now the reason why you want to get higher levels is because you can house higher level technologies or higher level artifacts, and those are going to be worth more points when the stuff actually finally gets stored there. All right, so that's how you do that. Now, and you might be saying, well, how do you even store these in there? How do the artifacts get there? Well, I'll explain that here in just a second. But first things first, I'm going to show you how you can set up a truck or a train. So you notice these little train tracks are here and these little roads are here, and that is for these trains and trucks that you have. And when you set these up, what you're going to be doing is the exact same thing. You're going to be discarding cards. And this is a weird situation where you only need to discard at the beginning like a small number of cards. So I'm just going to take a couple of these really quick here. So let's say you wanted to set up like an orange truck. So you just grab the orange truck and you wanted to set it up here, meaning that it is driving this way, so it's going to be delivering orange artifacts over to here. And I'll explain why this is important here in just a little bit, but that's how you do that. You would have to discard one of these and then put down a card, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put a 1 by that truck to show that it is a level 1 truck, and that is the direction it's going. The reason why that's important is later on, somebody might say, I want to move that truck to somewhere else. They could discard, like say that, and put 2 on top of it, like so, meaning that you're using a higher level of like power basically. So they're going to move the truck over to that location, and you're going to put like a little 2 by there. Now the numbers on these go up to 8. So once you hit the top level, you aren't able to like move it anymore. You can't go to a 9. So that's what. Now, once again, you might be saying, why does that matter? I'll explain that in just a quick second here when we actually get to the point where we are going to actually house these artifacts. Now, the best way to show you this is to kind of actually alter up the player board or the boards here, so I can manufacture how this works. So, it's the magic of video editing. You're gonna like kind of away here, and we're gonna come back, and it's gonna be a little more built out. Alright, so say somebody wants to now move the artifacts into the towers, into the bunkers, or whatever. So, on your turn, what you do is you put all your cards face down, because you're not going to be playing them, and that signifies the fact that you're going to be picking up one of those 2 stacks, or 3 stacks, if it happens to be one over there, and then you're going to show those cards to everybody, and then you're going to determine where you're going to place those. Now, obviously, sometimes because of the fact that a lot of people are playing their cards face down, you might not be aware of what the cards are going to be available to you, so you're kind of gambling on the idea that you're going to get stuff that you're going to be able to move around. Now, remember, you can't really fill these up, but you can only put 1 artifact into each possible bunker at any one time. So in this case, what we have here is we have an orange bunker. We have a tan bunker. I apologize, you probably can't see that. The color's a little bit different, but that's like kind of a brown tan bunker there. We have a blue or blue-gray bunker and 2 green bunkers. And over here, we have the gray bunker, and then we have a green bunker, and we have an orange bunker, and we have an orange truck and a grayish blue train that are heading in that direction. So they can carry artifacts, but I don't have one that can carry a green artifact. I don't have one that can carry a brownish tan whatever artifact if it is. So let me go ahead and I'll show you these cards. All right, so I am the purple player here. So I have an orange tower that has 3, I have a green tower that has 2, and I have this bluish, grayish tower that has 2 as well. So I want to make sure that I maximize my points in that situation. So hopefully I got like an orange level of 3 that I can put there, I have a green 2 I can put there, and I have a blue 2 I can get there. But I also want to make sure that I don't distribute the artifacts as much as possible. I want to be able to basically be able to deny artifacts to certain people. So the situation I have here then is that I have, pink has this green 1, blue has this orange 2, and so on and so forth. So I mean, it's just like I have to but I have to make sure the artifacts get to wherever they have to go, but I can choose which one goes where. And remember, only one artifact per location is allowed. So I also have an orange truck that can deliver orange artifacts this way, and I have this kind of grayish blue train that can deliver those as well. So looking through here, I have, unfortunately, I only got 1 orange. So basically, I'm going to just say, well, the 1 orange is going there. Remember, bunkers can't fill up. So just because I put this in there doesn't mean that later on it can't have something. So I'm definitely going to take this orange 1 point, and I'm going to get a point for that. So I'll just go ahead and give myself that point right there. And so looking at the rest, I have a green tower 2, and I have a gray, that bluish gray tower 2 as well. So what I can do for sure is then I can say, well, I'm going to take one of these green 2s, and I'm going to put it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and then give myself those 2 points as well. Now, the thing is that I only have a green 1 and a green 1 over there, and I have 2 of these level 2s. Neither of the locations, and I can't even deliver to there, honestly, so I can't put it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and take these 2, and I get to put those into my hand of cards, and I get to take them back. So I have access to those, and there is no hand limit, mind you, so just keep that in mind. So now I have these gray ones. So I have a gray level 2 there, but I don't have a gray 3. And so now here's a situation where I can just go ahead and I have this gray 2, I give it to blue. Unfortunately, I have to do that. I can't not, store it. So I'm going to go ahead and give blue those 2 points. But now, once again, there's no this tan kind of grayish tan. It has 3 points. I don't have a tower that goes. Once again, those are going to go right to my hand. And now I have these 2 2s that are blue and a blue that's 1. So I have this 1 here, and that can go there. Now here's interesting. Let me just actually do this to kind of mess with things a little bit. So what I could do, let's say this was a 2 right there, and it's controlled by pink. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead and alter that. So let's say that existed right there, and I could say, you know what, you're going to get this, I'm going to give you a point, you're going to get a point. Even though I could give them a level 2, I don't have to. So I can say, okay, go ahead, pink, you can have 1 point, and you can go ahead and give that there. And now with the 2 that are left, what I can do is I can use this particular train to deliver a 2 to my tower 2 over there. I get another 2 points, and then I have 1 left over that I get to put back into my hand to use at later time. Now, the distribution of the wealth, basically, the points, is probably that really, really fun moment where you basically get to kind of jockey the artifacts back and forth and make sure that you come out the best while everybody else is kind of shoved down the ladder. And it is that great reveal moment where you see the other cards are and how they're available and what you can do. And it is a very tricky way to score points, because it's a pick up and deliver kind of game in a weird way because of the trains and stuff like that. Not technically a true pick up and deliver because you're not really moving, but it has a lot of cool working parts, and it really, really was a lot of fun to play with my friends, because basically you're always looking to just maximize yourself and minimize everyone else, but sometimes you end up in situations where you have to basically give players lots of points just because of the way that the cards shake out. But it's a lot of fun. I'll talk more about all of that in my final thoughts, which I'll do right now. Alright, thank you very much for learning how to play Area 51. I hope you have a good idea of how that works. Now, as I said, that big reveal moment, the big scoring moment, that's the fun part of this game. I mean, there's other things that are really fun too. I mean, there's like just the preparation, the secret cards that you're putting down, because there's a lot of, after you've played a couple of rounds of the game, it kind of opens up, and I like that about games like this, where you kind of like the ding, you know, the little strategies come into mind, where basically you kind of bury like cards that aren't really worth your time just to build up certain like levels of bunkers that you have in different locations, but then you also have to do that in a way that like leads the other players to think that you've got like more good there, like it's the stack is more valuable. Plus you can manipulate the stacks in a way to like get people, when they grab them, that they're kind of in a situation where they're forced to feed you points. And that's one of the great things about the game, is when you don't even have to take the action of going through the scoring process. Somebody else does it for you, has to feed you more points, and then when it gets to your turn, you can spend that building up your infrastructure. You can use it to collect more cards, so you have more options, stuff like that, that like actually like has that wonderful kind of like, thank you, buddy, for you know, increasing my lead. Now let me go ahead and not waste my time with that. And I like that. I like that aspect of the game. There are, I dig the theme as well. I think like you know, once the final published version comes out, I've seen some of the art that they're working towards, and I think the game is going to really pop as far as that goes. But obviously, as I mentioned before, the toy level is really high in this game. I really like the whole process of like, you know, building up your towers, and like, you know, having your little, you know, your cube on the top to kind of represent yourself. But then as the game gets played, you see these towers kind of grow, and also obviously like the little trains and trucks. It's just a fun game to kind of watch, but also it's a very kind of like, it's that good medium weight to it as well. Like really, really tough decisions when you have to decide with only one action each turn. You're kind of, you know, behind the eight ball sometimes, just trying to determine what your best option is, and it kind of lends itself to having, you know, a nice brain fuzzy burning thing going on as well. Something that I enjoy a great deal in this kind of lighter Euro world that we have in the designer game world that we're playing right now. But anyway, that is Area 51. I did forget one thing. I do apologize. How does the game end? Once two of the areas are cleaned out of these little discs or whatever, these little squares that you use to build the bunkers, that signifies that the game is going into the end phase, and then you go ahead and process one last turn, and then you are then able to do your final scoring and then determine who actually wins the game. I apologize for not mentioning that. But regardless, the game's a lot of fun. If you dig, like, it's like I said, it's not really pick up and deliver, but I mean, it has that good shunting process, and there is something really cool about that, how like you can move your train over to like a certain location that you know, in that perfect spot that makes it available to you, that you're then able to like, you know, give yourself like better points and stuff like that, and judicious timing of that is very, very important. But regardless, if you have any questions about the game, ask away, and I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and until next time, I'm the Undead Viking, and I'm going to tell you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.